What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode at DJC Custom Woodworks. This is actually my third time doing this video. First time, the mic went out. Second time, I didn't cut the mic on. So this time, I hope I have it right and you're not just seeing me move my mouth. You're actually hearing some words. So let's jump right into it, guys. First and foremost, this will not be a build video. This will just be a walkthrough of my setup here for my drill press. I'm going to explain to you guys how I did this because this is one of those where there's so many videos out there about the build of this. This cart, drill press cart, where it's pretty straightforward. I did mine a little bit differently than some, but again, everyone works their own way, right? Now I'll show you what I think I could have improved on. But besides that, jump into it. So first and foremost, up top, we have the Win drill press. Just a 12-inch drill press with the add-on table from Win as well. This has already paid for itself because usually when I do my dog kennels, I have to do the pilot holes for the bars to go into. I was doing it with my hand drill and my Forstner bit, and sometimes they were straight, sometimes they were not straight. So the whole point of me getting this was because I wanted to make sure that that was no longer an issue and it would help speed up the process. I can tell you right now, by having it on just that one project I just did, which was this one right here, it made it so much quicker, so much easier, so much simpler. What used to take me about 2 hours took me about, if I had to take all in time of doing the doors, bar, I would say probably 20-ish minutes, if that, regarding, because I mark all my center lines, all that kind of stuff. So it took me about 20 minutes. It is a variable speed that you adjust with the handle on the side, which is right here. This is how you adjust the speed of it on the side, right? You have your depth stop gauge here. Then of course, this over is how you lower it. But then you're also, and I'll get you guys a little bit closer, you guys can see. So again, this is the handle to adjust the speed. Then your depth stop. These just over here just screw when you want to set how low you want them to go, how deep, things like that. Then you have your laser light, and then you have your regular light here, and then of course this lowers. It was very important for me to get one that was a variable speed without having to take off the top to adjust the belt to adjust the speed. I wanted just a simpler way of doing this one. And I got a great deal on this one from Marketplace, which it came with the drill press and the table. It's a 12-inch, so I was happy with that. I'm sure that other brands and people will probably comment, oh, this, that. This is a drill press. I'm not a a, uh, a fully operational workshop while I'm doing custom furniture and things need to be a certain way. But even if I was, this will work just fine. So with that being said, guys, it is paid for itself already. The drill press table actually has measurements of when you want to line things up, so it's even on both sides if that matters for some people. This piece right here pops out. It's just a piece of MDF that pops out if I need to. And this slides back. So, right. There's the regular table underneath there, which is solid steel that it sits on top of. So the one thing I will say, which is kind of tough, because this one is, you can adjust the height with the handle right back here, right? It's how you adjust the height. You loosen it with this side over here. Now, the one thing I will say is that because this has a little bit of a shake to it, it's not completely tightened down, is that I noticed that it's hard to figure out where's the center point for the table, right? So I don't even think about it when I'm using this table. I just make sure the center point is right for my piece that I'm drilling into. So, but yeah, first, that is my drill press. It's a Win 12-inch. I didn't need to do a 12-inch. It just happened to be the deal that came across, so it made sense. The one thing I will say I want to do is I would like to change this out to a chuckless chuckless chuck, if that makes sense. To where I don't need the key for it. I can just do it from up here by itself without using the key, the chuck key, if that makes sense for some people. But yeah, so that is the one thing I would probably change. But getting into here, I'll put you guys, bear with me here. Um, Getting into the, excuse my hand. Doop, doo. Yeah, so getting into the actual card itself. This is all made out of 3/4 inch, just maybe a little over half a sheet of plywood. This was some scrap I had laying around. So it is one of those things where I had it, so I might as well use it, and it came out perfectly. Um, this is something that you make off you, right? Your height, what works for you, what is going to make the most sense. For me, it was important to make it so that it is for my handles, right? For my when I need to get into the drawers, I didn't want to have to bend my knees, bend over my back, all that kind of stuff. I just want to be able to stand here, do something. If I need to get something out, just grab, pull forward, right? That's all I wanted to be able to do. That's why I went with. I didn't go with any hard works. I didn't want anything sticking out, so made it simple. And actually, I will probably switch to using these on any other workshop builds that I do because this was super simple, super easy, and it's clean, right? It doesn't anything, nothing crazy, nothing too fancy, but it's simple, it's clean, and it works. Um, and I'll show you guys down here. Scroll down here. I do DIY shelving, drawer slides for all my garage builds, if you will. Super easy to do those, guys, and it slides so smooth. And I'll show you a little trick to that makes it even slide so much better. I went with 3-inch casters. This is one of those where I will say that I should have made it. I should have got the extra ones because if you look over here, these are our same 3-inch casters on this side, but look how much more space I had to put my foot to press it down and lock it versus over here. Like that's super, super small, but again, it's from Menards, simple, easy. It does the job. It does a lot. It stops from swiveling, but that just has a little bit more space. So I probably will end up switching to those casters over there to here. But for right now, that works. Right? Um, what else? So when I when no pun intended, when I built this, I didn't want to hold on one second, guys. Doo-doo. All right, cool. There we go. So when I built this, I didn't want to make anything complicated. So I kept it very, very simple. Um, Measurements, in case for those who are wondering, again, this is based off my height. I'm 6'1". So for me, the way I did mine, it is um, if you take away the casters, I accounted for that. It is 31 and an eighth as far as your side supports, and then my bottom support is 16 and 5. You can go 16 and 3/4. The width, the depth is 16 and 5/8. The depth of my side piece again should be about the same. Yeah, 16 and 5/8. On the back, I use 3/4. I mean, not 3/4. On the back, I used a 1/2 inch because I didn't think the back having a 3/4 inch in the back really mattered as much as the sides and everything else. I did on the top here. It is simply 3/4 inch with the structure underneath to connect the sides, and then on the bolts here, it is 3/8 by 3 inches. No, is it by 3 inches? Yeah. Or was it 4? Great question. I want to say it's 4. I could be wrong. No, it's 3. 3/8 by 3 inches for the bolts, and it's just in there with the washer on the top, washer on the bottom, and a locking nut. That's pretty much it on that. But again, it does everything I needed to do. I did do little pilot holes in the bottom in case I do decide I want to add drawers to it. I mean, not drawers, shelving for more storage, and I may add a door down here. Not 100% sure. I might add a door. I might just leave it open. So who knows? But again, it does everything I needed to do. It grooves, it slides. It's true, super simple and easy. What I'm going to go, and this right here is just pine. This is pine I had laying around. that I cut to cover up the plywood edges and then round it over. And then sand it and put some shellac on there to make it look somewhat decent, somewhat smooth, all that kind of stuff. So what I'll do, I'll show you guys my drawers. And this is how I do all my drawers on every garage storage piece that I do. Um, it's very simple for me and it's easy for me. One of the key things that I did, right, is that I made this. This is my literally shelving spacing jig, right? Shelving spacing jig. And all it is a 1/2 inch sheet with a little strip that's super thin on top that sits on top of here, right? And how this works, here, I'll show you guys. How this works, let me take this one out. All right. So how this works for me is that I put the bottom piece on. This is 3/4 inch. I cut them all about to be an inch thick, right? And how I do once I figure out where I want my drawer to start or the bottom to go, I put the bottom piece on with wood glue and brad nails, right? And I take this, I slide it in there like so. I set my other piece on top, right? Put that in place. It doesn't have to be exactly 100% level as long as it's touching this at some point, right? It can have a little space and that's fine because that just makes it so my drawer is going to slide super smooth, right? There's some that are a little bit tighter. I think this one, yes, like this one is a little bit tighter, but it still slides pretty smooth. But this way I can go along. I don't really have to measure everything. Unless I want my drawer face inset, then I kind of leave that 3/4 space there. But outside of that, I do all my drawers this way. Again, it's a super easy way to do your drawers, especially for your garage workshop. Super easy, super simple, and super inexpensive because you're not buying the drawer slides that can be, even if you get them online, they're $10 a piece. So to me, I save myself $10 and does the same exact thing. May not be as fancy, but it does the job, right? So now let's get into my drawers. That didn't sound right, but you know what I mean. Let's get into um, how I. So all my drawers are made out of 3/4 front back. I usually do a 1/2 inch in the front, but because I already had 3/4 and it was already kind of blending with the grains of everything, I wanted to keep it the same. So I did the front in 3/4, right? Just sand it, spray with some shellac, sand it down again. And I did the bottom with a 1/2 inch. So the way I do mine is the sides, right? You can find 100 videos on making a drawer box. They're all the same. You can probably find some of these as well. But the way I do mine is that I over measure mine to be an additional probably inch to 2 inches in the back, depending on how much space I have. This is about an additional inch. I want to say 1.5 inches, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, additional inch in the back. It makes it so to where I can pull my drawer and have full access to my drawer from the back, right? Front to back. Also, that means it's my drawer slide is going to catch on this piece and it won't just kind of fall out, right? So again, I do wood glue and brad nails on the bottom. This one was overkill because I usually either I'll do screws or I'll do brad nails. I rarely ever do both, and so I'm not really sure why I did both on this one, but I did. Whatever. All right, so getting into the drawers, I do all my drawers pretty much the same, which is I do them with 3/4 on the side, back. This one I added a little rail here, if you will, because I want to add another little sliding compartment. I can slide front to back and give me like double the storage if I really want to. You don't have to do that. That's something I just did on this one because I just want to try something differently and try to maximize the space I do have in this. Bottom of this is made out of 1/2 inch, right? 1/2 inch on this one. You see the brad nail I missed, but it still holds pretty firmly because for some reason on this one I did everything. I have wood glue, brad nails, and screws. Usually I don't do screws and brad nails is one or the other. I'm not sure why I did it on this one, but I did. So here we are. Um, I always overshoot or over measure the back end of this. The back end of this is super important because if you pull the drawer to the max as far as it can come out, it'll just fall out. But if you over measure and leave yourself a little bit of space back here, right? You measure from the front to the back all the way. You take account for the drawer front. It'll leave you this lip. So therefore, if you pull it all the way out, it'll still be able to catch on to the drawer. So for example, if I put this drawer in here, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Oh, take that out. Hold on a second. Do 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 do. So if I put this in here, like so, right? So it's all the way in. If I pull it out, now I have full access, right? It still catches. It won't just kind of fall, even though it's all the way out. Oh, sorry. If I pull it all the way out, yeah. So I still have full access to everything, and it's not just falling. So it still catches itself, right? So that's why I end up doing it that way. This is how I do all my drawers. They're all done the exact same way. Nothing is any, sorry, there we go. Nothing is any different. So all the drawers you see over there, they're all made the same way. All the drawers you see, well, you don't see, but all the drawers I have in my workbench, they're all made the exact same way. They're all made with the same thing, 1/2 inch on the side. Now I will say these you can do that same thing down there with a dado. It's just a little bit more work. I didn't feel like changing saw blades. I just want to be simple. It's quick, simple, easy. That's my whole motto. So again, the same things up here, this drawer, same thing up here. That's just what enforcement bits are for my drill press and key. But again, super easy and super simple. So if you're wondering how to make drawers for your workshop, there you go, just like that. You gotta be fancy. I usually honestly do a 1/2 inch for the front drawer front. Like those are all 1/2 inch. I think these over here are 1/2 inch too, but those for sure are all 1/2 inch. Because it's strong enough and you're not doing anything crazy. Oh, excuse me. You're not doing anything crazy with them. And again, it's workshop furniture. Some people like it to look all nice and fancy. Mine looks good. I think it looks great. But again, everyone's different. It works for me, right? And that's one of the things that I think sometimes can get lost on some of like the YouTube videos is that, hold on one second. I think that's one thing that can kind of get lost on YouTube videos is that you have to do what works for you in your garage workspace, whatever that looks like. Like I'm in a 2-car garage. I take up half of it. The other half is bikes, power wheels, ladders, stuff. I still use it, but but don't get so caught up in trying to do the fanciest thing. Just work on what's going to look best for your space, for your garage space, right? So everything that I have in my garage, I built because I didn't want to buy anything. Even though if I had to go back, I would probably do it a little bit differently, but I'm happy with what it looks like. But anyway, guys, so yeah, that's the drill press mobile cart. So if you found some value in this, if you enjoyed it, give me a like, subscribe, follow, comment, all that kind of stuff for the algorithm. I think I'm at 420 subscribers. I would love to get to 1,000. That'd be awesome, right? That's always the ultimate goal with people who do YouTube. You want to share your information, and hopefully people enjoy it enough to where they follow you and things like that. They share it. So if you guys have any questions, please comment. I'll be happy to ask. Be happy to answer them. And go from there, guys. So hope you enjoyed it. Have an awesome day. DJC Custom Woodworks. Be blessed.